like, oh, thank you, Santa. What? Thank you, Santa. Oh, thank you, Santa.
December 17th.
Oh, thank you, Santa.
21st, and we'll be
Thank you, Santa.
Release dates.
More complicated.
Thank you, Santa. It's my line. Hey guys, Cruel Blind Wave, I'm Eric.
Rick.
I'm Calvin.
Aaron.
And we are back with Hawkeye. Where, last time on Hawkeye, we had a certain Black Widow show up, but it was not the Black Widow most of us know.
It is.
Yeah.
Most of us know it.
Not
What do you mean?
most
All of us knew it.
Not all of us.
We all knew it. What do you mean by most?
You called her something else.
Well, it's...
Frank.
I know what
Ellen.
letters are... I know what letters are in there.
You called her Ellen.
No, I called her like Elena or something.
Yeah.
I know the letters in there. There's like a
Delaney.
Y, some E, L's, N, A's.
Yelena Belora.
No one knows that one.
I wrote it down. I knew it somehow.
No, you looked it up.
They said it or
you
I looked
looked it up and you
It's
were like,
from the
it's
movie.
this, Aaron, you
Yeah.
idiot. How'd you not know? I was like, you looked it up. That's what happened.
Played by Florence Pugh.
Pew.
I don't think you said that one right either.
So we did have her show up, so Hawkeye now knows that someone is trying to get him.
He
right?
believes
Putting him on
someone
the list.
hired a Black Widow to kill him.
Yes.
Which is kind of true, I guess. That Valentine girl,
Valentina.
like,
Yeah.
she's like, here.
Yeah.
He did it. And then she's like,
He also found a list.
but I don't know
of
if she's
his-
getting paid for it.
He found a list of his wife and children in the apartment. As
With
well.
the watch.
With the watch.
What's the deal with the watch?
Whose watch?
That was the subject of her poll.
The watch?
Who does the antique watch belong to? 16% of people said someone we don't know. 83% of people said someone we do know. So now we need to
60.
see. Huh?
I thought you said 60 instead of 16. I was like, those numbers do not add up, sir.
60 and 80. It's all those missing percents from all those other polls.
They finally caught up with us.
It's like you open it and they're just all socks,
Yeah.
none of which match.
Where'd my shirts
How
go?
did this happen? I didn't even wash today.
We'll start with DC Fanboy, who has a avatar of Batman commenting on Hawkeye, a Marvel property. What if it's Laura's watch and she has a past of her own?
Everyone has a past.
Everyone does have a past.
You gotta put the past
Except for babies.
in your pants.
They have a past just being inside the womb.
Son of Dark Helmet says, I have no fucking idea, but it's someone we've seen before.
Okay.
He said freaking.
Why did you add that?
I don't know.
Maybe he didn't want to cuss, Eric.
I'm sorry.
Now
son of-
Santa's not gonna visit.
I'm sorry, Son of Dark Helmet. Hopefully Dark Helmet does not ground you.
Dog helmet. The Schwartz. You know the Schwartz?
I do.
Oh, yogurt.
Damn.
You don't know yogurt? He's the little
It's been a
Yoda
long
dude.
time since I've seen that movie.
Mel Brooks played yogurt. He had the memorabilia. You got lunch boxes.
Spaceballs the flamethrower! A lot of people thinking that it could be Laura. Brandon Brelna says, Jinkies! I think it's Laura's watch.
She did know about the watch.
Josh says it's Nick Fury's with S.H.I.E.L.D. agent information on there. Wheel Magic says it's 10,000% Tony's. Or not, I don't know.
I would say, if anything, because it's a antique Rolex, that
Howard's?
it's Howard's.
Pass to Tony.
Josh Borman says it's obviously Mephisto's.
Well, it's 3,000% Tony's. Wouldn't that be the right answer?
If it were,
Yeah.
that would be the correct
I
answer.
thought it was Tony's, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not connected to like an Iron Man suit or something. I just thought of like, you know, like the
No, yeah, that one
stuff
he
like that.
pulled over.
And now I had more nanotech.
Maybe it's Kang's, and that's how he travels through time.
That would be in a pouch.
A chair, sometimes.
Wayne with Coas, who says, in a show and overall universe full of callbacks, I'd love for it to be something new. So they voted for something that we don't know.
All right, maybe we'll find out.
Maybe.
I suppose.
We realized that Spider-Man No Way Home's, there's a lot of rumors, not rumors, but there's a lot of leaks out there because it just premiered.
Well, it's not even leaks. Yeah, it has officially
it is
come
premiered.
out
So
in different
people are
places.
talking about it. It's all over the online. I'm just staying off the internet
Sure.
as much as possible.
Don't spoil.
But please do not talk about the stuff in the comments. Have some, empathy for others that are trying to preserve that story for the theater or for when it eventually comes out on video on demand. But please keep all that stuff out of the comments. We really, really, really would appreciate it.
At the minimum, do like what the Infinity War Endgame stuff was doing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, give at least a couple weeks before
yeah.
talking at all about
Sure.
it. Just so people can get a
Yeah.
chance to be able to see it if they want to,
Sure.
Because it's everywhere. 2018.
Flashback.
Is this during the Black Widow movie?
This is during this.
Yeah.
2018 is the snap, right?
Hi there, Anna.
Who are you?
Ex-widow?
Yeah.
Oh,
She
did
missed.
not fucking flinch. Close.
No, the glass door! Oh, thank goodness I went this way.
Okay.
To stop the
mind control.
How can you afford all of this?
By doing the thing we're all best at. Killing for money.
Oh, shit.
You guys are getting paid?
Right?
Oh!
Fuck.
She's been dusted, no!
And then she's
back. Oh my gosh.
Just like, oh, did you see the fade in?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I wonder if Anna and Sonia
What's happening?
also or not.
Well, they might not have.
They would have showed back up here, so.
Yeah.
Yelena?
Anna, there she is.
I need to find Natasha. Can you help me find Natasha?
Does she know?
I figured
They wouldn't know
everybody
yet.
would know. She's on the wall, right?
Bruce would have just snapped them back,
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
and then
Are we gonna follow her this episode instead?
that was a crazy intro, though. I never thought of it that way.
It's neat to see from the perspective of the person being snapped.
Yeah.
Because we always see it from someone like losing somebody.
She came back, and then the world like almost caught up with her. It was
Yeah.
Like your brain expects to see something.
Yeah.
It's like when you drink water, but it's lemonade. Like, oh god!
Or when you drink
You mean when you
Sprite and you think it's milk.
Or orange juice right after brushing your teeth.
Oh my god. Are you okay? Oh, my baby girl. It's okay.
I don't know if I trust them all.
Nope. But I've been wrong in the past.
I trust her.
Many times.
Believe she loves her daughter.
0%.
Oh.
Kate Bishop.
Oh.
You throw a sriracha slice?
Really tasty.
I like her outfit.
It
I
is.
know what box mac
like-
and cheese tastes like. Okay, I know it's delicious.
Forks. I don't have any weapons on me. Okay, I take that back. I don't have any weapons currently in my hands.
That's a different distinction.
That's a lie also.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, if I wanted to kill you, I
You would have already.
Right as you open the door.
Yeah, but I probably wouldn't have even had time to shut it.
No.
I'd have been dead.
No.
Yeah, okay.
I already love these two together.
I don't want her to be bad. I want her to work with Clint and
Think-
Kate.
Yeah.
Or just Kate and they just be friends in the future. New,
Took her
a new
vote,
Black
too.
Widow, a new Hawkeye kind of thing.
Because Clint's dead? Is that what you said?
I always think of the peanuts when I hear this song.
Yeah.
Isn't that not what it's
definitely
from?
peanuts.
When you face the kind of threats that he has, there's going to be collateral damage.
My sister is gone because of him.
That's what Valentina told her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye isn't staying in a hotel for Christmas. Man, take my couch. Really, take my bed.
Take my bed.
Almost forgot. Missy dropped off the new outfits for you and Kate. You want to see them?
Yes.
Dude, just not right now.
Okay.
It's got to be a big review.
Next episode.
Yeah. He's got to be like, what the hell is this? It's the purple shit.
We're gonna need you to come in and ask some questions.
I promise you, this is all a big misunderstanding. I've never worked a day in my life.
She had looked into it.
I would have done exactly the same thing. I've obviously been framed.
He's so nice.
I
I'll
know.
clear all
He's
this
so
up.
nice.
Back in a jiffy for your Christmas party. You'll see.
My gosh.
her?
She
It must
threw
be
him
her.
under the bus.
Memorial, Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, Thor Odinson, Bruce Banner, and Tasha Romanoff. Wow. That's really
The Avengers first assembly.
I really need to talk to you right now. You were the bravest of us all, weren't you? And I'm so sorry for what I'm about to do.
What's he about to do?
It's all pretty crazy. Would be great to discuss.
Yeah, okay, sure. I've screwed up a few times. Whatever, I'm still learning.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time.
Voicemails and not texting?
Trust a bro.
What kind of millennial is this?
Run DMC's classic tracksuit.
Classic tracksuit.
Wait 1 second, please. Let me put on brass knuckles so I can punch your face.
Oh, shit!
Oh, it's a letter.
It's a letter.
Message arrow.
Maya, meet me tonight where you first met Ronin.
But we are not Maya.
He has points.
But we are not Maya. What do we do?
Run DMC, classic.
Classic tracksuit.
If I don't end this tonight, it's just a matter of time before the big guy gets involved.
Jesus. Are you sure? I trust your judgment.
She's too supportive.
Too supportive.
I don't know how to describe it.
She's very supportive.
I love you.
It's where you put the suit, right?
Yeah.
This.
Yep.
Okay. Let's talk.
The whack.
He still was a thwack and not a swing.
Why would Clint
Does Chevy Chase's car?
get turned on?
And if I run with a baseball bat? That's your plan?
Oh! Ah!
How'd you get over there? Oh, he shot his foot.
He shot his own foot.
Oh. Is he gonna kill her?
Oh! Walking with the leg.
That's great.
The sword.
Maybe he can make her believe she killed Ronin without dying?
I don't know. Oh! That was cool.
You think he's learned substitution jutsu?
I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I feel like he has a plan. Ah!
That was really cool.
I like that. That was neat.
I like going under the leg like that.
Your boss wanted your father dead.
Uncle.
Now he's using
Oh!
Oh! Kate! Splinter insurance.
Is he the informant? I don't
Maybe.
know.
Maybe he is.
Look, I'm sorry.
Was he close to being in line to like take over or something maybe? Getting the father killed?
You remember the girl from last night, the one in the mask? I spoke to her. She said she's Natasha's sister.
Yelena.
Yeah.
Hey, new outfit. She's following her. Either she's bad, or like she's involved in something more. You know what I mean? Like I feel like she loves Kate.
Yeah.
But I still
Love
don't.
Kate and be
I
bad.
still don't trust her.
Sure.
Oh, yay!
What is it?
Oh, shit.
Who's that with my mom?
Well, that's the guy I've been worried about this whole time. Kingpin.
Kingpin! What? Was that? What? Dude, what? They're bringing
big
Kingpin?
guy.
They're bringing Kingpin in?
Was that your kingpin?
Is that? I don't know.
I don't know.
I want to go back and look at it.
We will.
Ah.
We gotta make sure there's nothing else.
It is! What? No! Fuck you! No
Oh
way!
my gosh!
What?
Rick! Why aren't you freaking out?
I don't watch it.
You haven't seen it!
That makes me
It's
so
the
happy.
best! Oh my gosh!
Oh, dude, that means they can bring in Charlie.
Ah!
The big guy!
He's back there! Dude, they could bring in Charlie. No, I mean, the picture, I'm like, well, it could be him.
I'm so glad it said Vincent D'Onofrio.
But
credits.
Kingpin's just a big guy wearing a white suit who's bald, you know? So I'm like, maybe it's someone else.
That's the thing. Like,
it's kind of blurry. I can't quite tell.
If you told me that they were going to bring Kingpin into the MCU, I would have been like, it better be Vincent D'Onofrio. I don't want him if it's not.
I'm so glad it is. He's such a good Kingpin.
I would rather than just never mention him than to have him and not be Vincent
I'm
D'Onofrio.
glad that you guys had no idea.
It makes so much more sense of like...
Oh, that was figures.
So I wasn't confirmed or anything, but it was one of those things where there were so many people saying, it's Kingpin, it's D'Onofrio. And then I went back and listened to when we first saw Uncle, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's Vincent D'Onofrio's laugh.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if it is, I'm gonna freak out. But I can't say anything. I gotta, if one of you don't know, I gotta preserve it.
Sure.
So.
And he is.
I'm just glad they brought
in charge of the tracksuits, right?
Yeah, he's
in charge of a lot. Everybody.
Yeah.
He is.
It makes so
one
much,
of the.
It really works. It could be his watch.
Yeah.
You know, like that could be related to him or some.
I gotta say, like. There's so many.
You just want to bang
What
it.
if you haven't seen the Daredevil show?
4 episodes.
You've seen 4 episodes? You haven't seen
Oh no, you did your 4-episode thing?
Yep.
And you stopped?
You're a terrible person,
did.
Rick.
It's ridiculous.
Man.
I truly believe that Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, up there with Charlie Cox as Daredevil and some of those others. I think Vincent D'Onofrio is one of the best casted character in the MCU. If we say it's an MCU, which we kind of can now. All those doubters. Sorry.
Dude, yeah, does that
We don't know.
It could. It
We
could
don't
not.
know.
It could be kind of rebooting of Kingpin,
Suppose it
right?
could reboot
like that's
it.
its own, and we're just making that guy our Kingpin, right? Like J. Jonah Jameson being, fucking Simmons, right?
J.K.
Simmons, yeah.
Yeah.
Like being him
Sure.
doesn't mean that Tobey Maguire, like he's that one, and
Sure.
there's been 2 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It just means they took that actor and did it
Right
again.
now, and I haven't. I kind of got spoiled in Q&As and stuff, but I haven't gone and tried to look anything up.
And Quicksilver came in as not Quicksilver.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah.
At the most, right now, I think it's that they share the same actor. We don't know if that means that we've canonized
the Daredevil
the
stuff,
Defenders, right?
Sure.
If this is this guy as another character, just like WandaVision.
Oh no, you can't. It's
Well, he
Kingpin.
called him Kingpin though. He called him Kingpin, which makes me so happy.
But man,
No, so with that shot there, I'm like, oh man, it could be. But I was excited for Kingpin to begin
Yeah.
with, because I want to see Kingpin against Spider-Man and all kinds of stuff. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
But them having it in the
I
credits.
am not the Samaritan.
When I saw
I
Vincent
am
D'Onofrio,
the ill intent.
I'm so glad we just watched the credits, because then I was like, it is him. It's right there.
Oh man, I hope we probably won't, but I just would love when we see him, which we have to. He's in front of that painting.
Oh my gosh.
Daredevil and She-Hulk.
Put Daredevil and She-Hulk. They're both lawyers. You
Yeah.
could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That'd be great.
I said it since the beginning of trying to say if you could have one thing happen in MCU, what it would be? It was Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin and Charlie Cox as Daredevil.
That's
being
2
brought.
things.
They are so.
No, I know.
It's like putting one coin with 2 sides in there. That's what I would say. I love John Bernthal as Punisher. I do. I really like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and even Iron Fist. I enjoyed, but if I had to say, you get one, I'd cheat by saying 2, but it's got to be those 2 guys.
That relationship.
It was so good, so good. And I would say, Rick, I think that you would enjoy Daredevil, the show. But now it's homework.
Yeah.
The show it does really good. Out of the Defender shows, if you were to skip some of the other ones, I'd be like, I understand.
If only for its one-upmanship of what it can do with a single camera shot.
Sure.
Every year. How do we do more? It's we'll do it this. Okay, we can't do any better. The next year, they're like, fuck. And they pull it off. In terms of the money spent versus what is shown, it's probably got some of my favorite fight scenes of any television show.
You have to watch it.
Yeah.
How did Yelena get this picture?
And what'd you take it on, a potato?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, it seems like it's footage.
Well, okay, hang
Seems
on.
like she threw her cell phone up in the air.
It
and
is a
took
video.
picture outside the wall.
It is a video.
Outside the window.
However, it could be, you know how when you have an iPhone and then you send it to Android people,
Fucking
and
not
it's
even
fucking
happens.
stupid as hell. It's like, why the hell can't they just make it normal? But they do it because
they do that on purpose.
They do.
Android doesn't do it to iPhone.
No, iPhone does it on purpose to Android.
Yeah,
It's
to make
be
them look bad.
Yeah, be like, oh, you should get on this.
Oh, look, you have a dumb phone.
But anyway, maybe it's like
bullshit.
that, and they just fucked it up because it's.
Yeah, it could be like a button camera or something. He's very particular about himself. We know that, Wilson Fisk. Dude, that shot in the...
He looks short there. Is he that short? Like, Kingpin is huge.
He is. But, I mean, we're not looking for Into the Spider-Verse here.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know?
His shoulders don't go above his head.
I mean, I want to see what they do. That's all I'll
Also,
say.
she's not a short woman. She's in heels, and the frame is tilted, and you can see that he's a head taller than her.
I suppose.
He was a grounded Kingpin. I mean, he wasn't, you know...
It wasn't like Andre.
He was the strongest guy in the show, but he wasn't lifting a semi, you know?
Sure. It wasn't... it's not over the top.
Yeah.
And
It was like...
Kingpin from the Spider-Verse is just gigantic with his tiny head, you know?
And then just like...
It's not comic book.
No, but just like the comic book, that's not his strength. His real strength is that he can get you from anywhere at any time, and he has
his connections.
He has so many connections. He is the Kingpin.
It makes sense. Man, I can't believe Hawkeye knew about it, because, like, I feel like it's never been mentioned.
Yeah,
and then
so
Hawkeye's
good.
like, oh, the big guy. I don't want him involved.
I know, he's scared of him.
The big guy. But
It
he
can't be
knows.
Hulk.
And
Like,
he's an Avenger.
why is the Hulk gonna care?
He's an Avenger. He knows the Kingpin's out there.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I can't go for him. And he might come for me, and I don't want that.
He might come for my family.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit. Hawkeye's afraid of this guy.
I'm so happy for D'Onofrio.
I know.
He's been one of the actors that's been like saved Daredevil, part of that campaign, and I've always loved him in so many things.
I'm sure
he's
he
done.
loves playing that
Men in
character.
Black. He's so good in Men in Black. He's so good in Full Metal Alchemist, Full Metal Jacket.
I don't even care if they do more Daredevil seasons or movies or anything, but taking those two characters and implementing them into already existing or planned stories and stuff they want to do, like you said, She-Hulk.
She-Hulk would be a really good
Spider-Man.
She-Hulk makes sense.
I would love if maybe not this one, because I don't know exactly what they're doing with this movie, and I don't know how things end with the Spider-Man movie. But if Spider-Man and Peter Parker are still known to be each other or not, I always love the story of Peter Parker's on trial, but then Daredevil comes, Matt Murdock does his lawyering, and then Spider-Man and Daredevil are doing stuff outside. It was so fun, and Kingpin's involved in that story.
I just need more opportunities for Legal Eagle to tell me why, while I enjoyed it, it's not correct.
He always talks about the well. You don't walk in the well.
Don't walk in the well. The bailiff will tackle you.
Yeah.
But hey, it was a fantastic episode, despite literally being overshadowed in that. I love that credit.
I don't remember anything else that happened.
But being overshadowed by the Kingpin.
It was 80% Yelena.
Yeah, I quite liked it. I love the opening of this, seeing the snap or the blip or whatever they're going to call it from the point of view of the person, not necessarily them exiting and entering the shot, but going with them. And I really like your idea of maybe it's not necessarily that was actually happening, but it's the mind catching up to what's happening. That's kind of interesting, but it could be either way. Because it's not like a time travel thing. They are annihilated,
It's instant for them.
and then they are recreated.
Yeah.
So I do like the idea of it's them catching up to what is happening. So that was really cool. Way of telling us exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I was thinking about something.
I know.
Well,
I
We
know.
had a pretty cool fight with Ronin and Maya too.
Yeah, we really did.
I really like the
loved
fight.
it. I love the utilization and the idea that actress, it wasn't written to the script that she doesn't have a leg.
Yeah.
But the choreography being informed by that is so good, and it feels
great.
like
Blocking a sword.
How
with
was that
it
not
and-
part of it the entire time?
Yeah. It feels so natural.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It feels elevated by it.
But yeah, the fight I thought was really fun. I love the Spider-Man, Batman-y kind of taking these guys out one at a time and stuff.
Yeah,
was
that was
fun. But yeah, I love
And the fact that she can't hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
Which it works. It makes sense.
In most shows, you have that. You have the gunshot, but the guy's just oblivious and dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
But
was
this
that?
one, it makes sense.
But this, I love the snap from the perspective of the snapped.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like out of all the times we've seen it happen and things happening, you always just return to, hello, hey,
Yeah.
Jonathan. You know, it's like, oh, I don't know. But this one was so different.
It was.
Yeah. I really liked it.
So I can't remember Elaine's character's name. Starts with a V.
Valentina Allegra, I believe is her name.
She's the one that gave the mission to Yelena, but I guess Kingpin hired her?
Well, Eleanor hired her.
Yeah.
So it might be in... It's hard to tell. Like, is everything Tracksuit's doing because Kingpin wants him to? Is everything Eleanor's doing because Kingpin? Or does she also do some of her own things? It's like, oh, well, some things are getting too close. Clint's causing problems and looking into things, so I need to get, you know, a Black Widow to kill Clint.
But Elaine will just take a job from anyone.
Yelena? Or are you talking about
Valentina.
Okay.
Valentina is kind of assembling the Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
She has evil Captain America. She has this Black Widow. I think a Dark Avengers is eventually something that's going to happen.
She could be or she could not be tied to Kingpin. If she's not, then her giving information to Yelena about Clint, whenever Eleanor is looking for an assassin, if you, I don't know, you put it on the dark web or however you do it, and she looks at the billboard, she's like, oh, Hawkeye, I'll kill him.
See, Valentina probably has some type of, it's a government agency. We know Kingpin is involved in that stuff. He's also probably involved in the Shadow Broker, not the Shadow Broker, that's from Mass Effect, the Power Broker.
Yeah.
And that criminal state and all that stuff. So he's probably this linchpin that like kind of brings all these things together, including her, the mother here, who completely threw Jack under the bus.
Yeah.
Jack's like,
and he's still like,
he's like, I understand.
So
I would do it too. I will be back for Christmas.
He needs to be the next Avenger.
He's so nice.
Yeah. He could be like a swords dude, like Baron von
Strucker.
No, is it? It's not
I don't know who
Strucker.
you're about.
Do you think the watch is for Kingpin?
That's what I said before.
Okay, sorry. I was talking and you were daydreaming.
Zemo.
And then you said the same thing I said.
Yeah.
And then it happened again.
But I'm saying, like, some of the things, like, maybe it could make sense. Like, maybe the watch is a thing for Kingpin. Like, maybe it's something related. Like,
if they were cufflinks, that would have been it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, if this is tied to Daredevil, is it tied to his girl?
Yeah.
You know, is there any of that kind of
But
stuff?
I can forget her name.
But it being Kingpin, who does that out as an undercover agent?
I don't
True.
know. I mean, maybe alternatively, maybe it's someone who's in with Kingpin that is an undercover agent, and that's what they got. They got to make sure this watch doesn't get out because he's in Kingpin's organization. You know, maybe it could be that. I don't know who.
Yeah, like who would? I'm trying to think of Marvel heroes. Like who would be an undercover?
Freaking the Moon Dude.
Moon Knight. I don't think he would be very good at that.
He's not exactly subtle.
I don't know.
That'd be like Deadpool being it.
Really?
This is. I'm thinking about John Berthol's Punisher. Like it opens up so many things if you have Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin in here. And then you have Moon Knight and Punisher. They've had so many amazing things in the comic books. Oh my god, that would be so great. I just watched John Berthol's Hot Ones episode. He's so good.
Oh, he was on Hot Ones?
Yeah, he's so good. Tom Holland. I saw Tom Holland on there. I'm like, oh, I gotta watch that. And then he talked about when John Berthol was on there. And he talked about the story about Tom Holland and John Berthol worked together one time.
Sure.
And they're friends. And he was saying, Tom Holland was saying sometimes when I'm like supposed to be stressed in a scene, I tell my acting partner like, hey, can you like just rough me up a little bit, just like push me or punch me or something, do something. It just gets me in the zone. And John Berthol's like, hey, I'm not doing that, man. You're my little brother. Okay, my brother, I'm not doing that. All right, shut the fuck up. I'm not doing that. And the director yelled action. John Berthol slapped him in the face because he didn't want him to see it coming. Yeah, he said he clocked him in the face. I'm like, that's so Punisher. It is.
That's funny.
Anyway,
No,
so I can't. My head keeps going to all the things this could mean, but at the very, 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 very least, D'Onofrio.
I was talking to someone about Hot Ones and stuff, and I
Yeah.
was like, it'd be fun to be on Hot Ones. I think I could handle a lot of spice on there. And then we were talking more, and I was like, yeah, they got important people on there now.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr.
Like back in the
Chang.
day,
They
maybe
got
we could've,
big.
you know, but not
They got
anymore.
mainstream.
No, I don't know. All this stuff has been done. We haven't talked about most of the other show. Just that. That has
Now I can read more of the Q&As.
That has overshadowed.
Well,
so
most
much,
of it was the conversation between Kate and
which
Yelena.
I enjoyed that. I thought her coming in here and being like, made macaroni.
I saw a lot of potential in their future relationship if they are given the chance.
Like you have the new Black Widow and a new Hawkeye, like who have met each other, right?
Just because I see it everywhere and obsessed, but her accent reminded me of Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah?
It did.
You are
Tommy, is he
a
Russian?
little obsessed.
Nobody really knows what he is.
What is he? What's his back? I don't know. Tell him your father.
I'm pretty sure Russia's involved somewhere.
Is it? But no, I mean the whole episode is
He's a
pretty
sleeper
good.
agent who forgot.
I love.
He's a sleeper agent. That's what it is.
I love girls being like, "You can't have a hotel for Christmas. Sleep on my couch. Take my bed."
And they tease the costumes.
When
We did. We gotta get those next episode.
yeah, we
right?
do. Which is the finale already.
Damn, already?
Yeah.
Ah, it's so short.
Now, like I said, I think it's been since episode 3. When did we get the intro to Maya? Not the intro, but the opening. I think it was episode
her
3.
episode?
Like when we first heard Uncle.
3.
That was the Q&As in which I was like, ooh.
Who is Uncle? Question.
Yeah.
Uncle for Tracksuit who?
That was the Q&As in which it was like 90% of people being like, it's Kingpin! I think it's Vincent D'Onofrio, listen! And I was like, it could be, but I wanted to save it.
So not just Kingpin,
Well,
they were saying Vincent
Yeah, I
D'Onofrio?
was gonna say it still could have been Kingpin, but
There
now-
were Q&As saying like, listen to the voice, it's Vincent D'Onofrio. And I went back and listened to it afterward, I'm like, yeah. But I just had to like...
I wonder how much...
in my head, I made the decision like, if it's the case, I need to preserve someone's reaction. I can't say like, hey, let's say it, and then when it happens, we're like, oh, there it is.
I wonder how much was known or leaked, or if
Yeah.
it's just people just...
I would be curious to try to find out,
Yeah.
but right now,
Well,
and
there might be other stuff.
Hey, we should also say this, guys. We realized that Spider-Man No Way Home's. There's a lot of not rumors, but there's a lot of leaks out there because it just premiered.
Well, it's not even leaks. Yeah, it has officially
it is
come
premiered,
out
so
in different
people
places.
are talking about it. It's all over the online. I'm just staying off the internet
Sure.
as much as possible.
Don't spoil.
But please do not talk about the stuff. In the comments, have some empathy for others that are trying to preserve that story for the theater or for when it eventually comes out on video on demand. But please keep all of that stuff out of the comments. We really would appreciate it.
At the minimum, do like what the Infinity War Endgame stuff was doing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, give at least a couple weeks before
yeah.
talking at all about
Sure.
it. Just so people can get a
Yeah.
chance to be able to see it if they want to,
Sure.
Because it's everywhere.
When is this premiere?
The
The actual
The movie?
day. Is it after Hawkeye?
The movie
is finished?
comes out Thursday night, so tomorrow, I think.
I just wonder if next week's Hawkeye will have any tie-in. Because already they talked about the new and improved Statue of Liberty, and that seems to be from Spider-Man.
Sure, because this is like the year after. Like that's taking
Yeah.
place like I think we talked about it before.
Sure.
It was like 8 months, and this is
Gotcha.
like 12 months or whatever it was.
After the
There was a time
whatever.
period where like that's gonna fall before
Yeah.
this does. So yeah, that makes sense with the Cap Shield or whatever they were doing.
So I know that it's like, well, you don't want to be a fan left behind, but we're going to try as much as possible, whether you or we or anyone sees Spider-Man, to keep that out of Hawkeye, at least for the next, until it's over, because it ends next week. So just want to make sure we said that before we jump into the Q&As here. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to cover before Q&As?
Kazi's the informant.
Yeah. Which over the last couple episodes, I've really grown to like and appreciate that actor's very subtle performance. Like, all of his lines are really whispered, you know? And it makes sense, but yeah, like when I first met him, I thought he was just another Goon. Like, he's literally wearing a tracksuit, and it has a duster on.
His hair's too
yeah. He's wearing two hats.
I still wonder, like, does Derek, which we got his name, I don't think we ever had his name before.
Yeah.
Derek,
Dad.
the dad of Bishop, if it ties in
we
any
did
way.
get his name.
I wrote Derek down
Yeah.
at one point.
We did get his name before.
Yeah.
I don't think so. We were.
First episode.
Yeah, I wrote Derek.
Derek, Dad died.
I swore we were speculating his name was something really fucking weird on a tombstone, and we're like, it can't be that. It was like, it went on for far too long.
The tombstone was Russell Bishop, but I wrote Derek down, but maybe I just
alright.
heard it.
I didn't have Derek anywhere else, but yeah, I remember like talking about that, and it was like, well, I don't know, maybe it's not him. That could just be another Bishop, you know?
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
anyway, I still wonder if his death is really because of the Avenger defending the city thing. If there's something more to it, if he was involved in anything too.
Well, we know Kingpin wanted Maya's dad dead, so maybe he wanted Kate's dad dead too, but I don't know.
Did Kingpin want Maya's dad dead?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Kazi was involved in.
Because of your boss.
Yeah.
You said your boss and the informant. Okay. I guess he did say boss, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to make Maya not like Kingpin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she might join the other side. Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, if she's going to become
Uncle that killed her
Echo or
father,
whatever.
that's so good.
Right?
Yeah. And it's a series. You can have shit in that. Now,
Well-
now I'm super excited for Echo.
If you have Kate who is upset with the things and Maya who's upset with the things, like Yelena, who's upset with the things.
Yeah.
You get those three together.
Right there, you got.
You're starting to make a little team.
Yeah.
Young Avengers.
Yeah, you got like another like a reverse Daredevil.
Even the Daredevil get to compete in Avengers.
You have like a reverse Daredevil, a Black Widow, and a Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna check out some Q&As. I did see that one of our mods on Discord went through some of the Q&As just to make sure that we didn't have any Spider-Man spoilers. I'm hoping that there are any. I'll be the shield to guard you guys, but if I find any, I will ban. I'm just going to from our Twitter because I can't take it. Okay, so our first Q&A is from our one of our editors on Blind with Billy Lawrence, who just says, "When I was a boy," which is a very in the Daredevil show. If you do watch it, or if you don't, he starts a lot of his lines like. When I was a boy.
He tells a lot of stories, and they start.
A lot of monologues, and sometimes when that happens, you're like, all right, monologue time. But when it's Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, you're like, yes!
Oh, monologue time.
When he was a boy.
What did he do?
It's Random Word says, "When I was a boy, I dreamed of Kingpin returning. Now I am a man, and he has returned."
It's going to be a lot of them.
All right, this is the question. Collectortainment says, since Kingpin is back, do you think the Daredevil TV show is canon and we'll see different kinds of, or will we see a different kind of Kingpin character with a different demeanor?
Yeah.
So there's nothing like super contradictory in the show?
No, in
this
fact,
stuff?
it's a trickle-down canon thing.
Yeah.
The Daredevil show treats itself as if it's in the MCU. It's just that the MCU
There-
movies have
Doesn't
never
acknowledge
gone back up.
There are nods and stuff sometimes where it's like, well, here's a article or information here and there pointing towards movies and things that have
I
happened.
remember you guys talking about that with S.H.I.E.L.D.
That S.H.I.E.L.D. does that. Some of the Daredevil Defender stuff has done that a little bit
Specifically,
here
the Battle of New York was a big thing, and the Defenders takes place in New York.
Yeah.
Hulk's attack on Harlem, that's referenced. Iron Man and the hammer, like it's there. It's just that trickle down thing.
And it's
Now
usually
we're going
more
up.
background, typically not to like in the front
Yeah.
of everything. But no, as I was saying before, like they could, and I don't think I'd be mad if they did. I think it'd be fun to know like, oh well, here's Daredevil's origins. Now you just toss Daredevil into it. You already have an origin story. He can just be Daredevil now, you know? As opposed to having to introduce him to people again or doing any of that. Just be like, hey, this is on Netflix, go watch it, come back here. But as I said with J.K. Simmons, like obviously they took the guy who's like, this is a great guy to be this dude here. Just do that again. And it doesn't mean like, oh well, there's two Spider-Men and he used to be here.
But then
now
seeing
he's
that
doing
trailer,
this.
it's especially weird because they seem to be merging.
We're merging. So yeah, I don't know. So I think you could do either one.
Yeah.
I'm not upset at either way, personally. I just like having that actor be Kingpin.
I mean, we've had questions come in letters and mailbag and on Q&As like, what's the one thing? And this is what I wanted. So it's a Merry Christmas.
I hope they bring Charlie too. Though.
Me too.
I hope so as well.
I really like Charlie as a.
Yeah.
There was a story I think we talked about before where it's like he had trouble with like later
He did.
roles.
Poor Charlie.
Yeah.
Because he played a blind guy.
Played blind.
And he would not make eye contact because he shouldn't make eye contact as a blind person, but so he would have trouble with
He
that
just
later
got
on.
so used to doing that when he was supposed to be playing a sighted person, he had problems making eye contact, which is just, it's sad but great.
Sure. So, no, do it again. Keep it.
There's also,
fun action.
there's
Okay.
it was a couple Halloweens ago now, but Charlie Cox and Loki's actor,
Tom
Hiddleston, they were both in a play together in New York, and for Halloween, Hiddleston was Daredevil, and Charlie Cox was Loki. So that was really cool, too. Julian Garcia said, first off, I would like to say sorry to Eric if he was spoiled about this reveal. It was a heavily rumored cameo, but never confirmed. Okay, I appreciate that. Never actually confirmed, because I hate whenever we get super surprised by something and they said, oh yeah, they spoiled this in the trailer last week.
Yeah, this was out months ago. Why didn't you guys know?
But
why would they
it
do
must
that?
have been extremely heavily rumored, because like sometimes people throw in a rumor or something like that, and we have no idea. But if you look at the Q&As from the last couple of weeks, which I don't ever suggest anybody like exposing themselves to potential spoilers, but it was pretty prevalent.
I'm sure there were plenty of YouTube channels that said confirmed.
Yeah.
Big red arrows, circles.
Well, and you know, I felt pretty confirmed after I went back and heard that laugh as well. So.
Sure.
Anyways, now that's out of the way, are you guys excited for the return of Netflix Kingpin? Not Rick.
I think Maggie watched the whole thing, and I saw a scene of him like in a car, and he was like beating the shit out of the dude and using the car to do it.
Yeah,
he
this guy seems okay.
A guy with a car door.
Yeah,
like this seems okay.
Yeah,
that was a good.
That's
one.
like the first thing you see of him.
He's pretty threatening.
That was in season 1.
He gets there.
Yeah. Dude, his monologue in the police van about the Good Samaritan is so good.
Oh my gosh.
Sure, no,
I literally just go back and rewatch it sometimes. Oh, man.
It's just... no, it's really good. I feel like I need to go back and rewatch Daredevil now. And probably Punisher. I feel like if I watch Daredevil, I want to watch Punisher too. Just because like, I feel like they have more connection than some of the other ones do.
Yeah,
true.
But...
Brandon says, I 100% believe that it wasn't Clint who was Ronin that day when Maya's father was killed. It could have been a ploy by Kingpin. I don't think that's not... I don't think it's impossible, but I think it still fits in line with where Clint was as a person. Like, he just needed an excuse to hurt people, and he was using, well, I'll hurt the bad people, but that's not obviously the right
it's a little
thing.
Dexter, right?
Kingpin heard that he had an informant in his midst.
Kingpin...
He assumed that it was this guy, so he left a tip to this other bad guy who knew would retaliate if he knew where a meetup was going to be.
That's his greatest superpower with Kingpin. He knows your weaknesses and he knows how to use you. So, unfortunately, Ronin was used in that point. And I really like Maya's
plans so well.
Yeah.
He'll sit back and be like, all right, here's what we're doing.
So,
you know?
He's like a Lelouch.
So the other question
but
is...
he's also scary and strong. And
like, how much and how long was Ronin manipulated by Kingpin unknowingly?
Yeah.
You know, is that why he was going after the Yakuza?
Mia Alyssa says, does anyone else love Yelena and her long, funny dialogue? She's just naturally hilarious. Also, I knew I had an odd feeling about Kate's mother since the very beginning. What are your thoughts and theories about what we saw in that ending? I mean, Kingpin overshadows everything, but I mean, she is directly in that room with him. I mean, that's damning evidence.
He does cast a large shadow.
Yeah, literally with that. I love
the outro.
I want that outro shot as like my background for December. I love it so much.
I wonder what the connection between them, like.
I wonder if she's forced to do it to save her daughter, or is she willing?
Well,
like
kind of
what he pays for the clock tower.
It's kind of what I was talking about before, where I was like, well. So she's just bad, or maybe she's being forced to do what she has to do.
Yeah, I mean, her talk with Kate here was like, we don't grow up to be who we thought we would as children. Like, sometimes you have to make decisions that aren't...
Yeah, your dream kind of leaves, and you have to do other stuff. So I'm like, maybe she's kind of being forced to, and she doesn't want to. Maybe she's just on board, and she gets to be rich, you know? Like, she has a lot of money. Where'd she get all that money? Has she just been... I don't know. So I'm not sure how much I want to be like, she is just 100% bad, or there's like a little bit of wiggle room of like, how bad? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like, what was she trying to convince her husband to get out of? Like, this isn't working in the first episode.
I mean, maybe he was involved, and then she got involved after he died.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Man, I need to rewatch this now. Think about it with like a Kingpin in the back of my mind the whole time I'm watching to see if like what's different or what.
In the last 3 episodes, every time they said the big guy, I was just like, oh my god,
the boss.
And they said it a lot because I didn't notice it really until this episode.
It's been a couple. The big guy gets involved.
I noticed it this episode for sure.
I wrote it down every time it happened, just being like, maybe this is the time when I don't have to not say anything. Yeah, so they've dropped it a little bit. And then Mia, I also agree. I really enjoyed Yelena in this. I enjoyed her in the Black Widow movie. I think she's one of the best parts of that movie, honestly. Yeah. And a little shout out to her dad as well. My daddy says.
Yeah.
Red Guardian, so that was cool.
Mac and cheese is good for you.
Andrew Courtney has a nice comment here. Talks about the uncle reveal and all that stuff. But at the end, I didn't think about this. Do you think Maya ends up recruited by Valentina at the end? Do you think that Maya could become a Dark Avenger or part of that group that's being assembled as opposed to us taking people from that?
Sure.
I could see her getting the offer of like, hey, we'll make you a cool like rocket machine gun leg.
And we have to remember too, the Dark Avengers aren't necessarily like, they're not the evil Avengers. They are the special ops Avengers. They are
Black
the
Ops.
ones that like
They're the
morally gray,
the Black Ops
Yeah, they do the
Avengers.
shit that you shouldn't really do, but needs done.
Is it kind of like Punisher in a way, where it's like he's kind of good, but
Yeah.
he does some bad stuff to get it done?
It's like,
you know what I mean?
Suicide Squad a little bit too. You know, just without the murder and death and threat of murder and death, I should say, with the bomb in your neck.
Sure. Ronin also.
Yeah. Darius Johnson says, with Kingpin entering the MCU, so happy, where would you rank him among MCU villains if they were to keep any part of the Daredevil show canon? So we assume that this is the Kingpin from Daredevil. Where do you put him in the MCU villain rankings?
Trying to think of who I would put above him.
I know.
If
The only other one I can really think of
is Ultron.
Well, no, I like Ultron, but for me, the only one I can think of is another Defenders villain, Kilgrave.
Yeah.
David Tennant's Kilgrave is
Kilgrave was
one of
pretty
the best
good.
villains.
I did
too.
like that too.
But
he
I
only got-
think it's still Kingpin at the top.
But yeah, Kilgrave was really good, but he only got the one season. Whereas Kingpin had several seasons, and all those seasons he was just really good. So
You need to watch it.
I think I like him better than like the Iron Man movie.
Yeah, try harder. Fucking try harder.
The four episodes, and I don't want to diss because I know that you don't have a lot of time. There's lots of movies, lots of shows to watch.
Some people are not going to understand the context of the 4 thing.
I know that's what I'm getting into.
Okay.
The idea of watching 4 episodes for a show, and then it either hooks you or it doesn't. Sometimes
It doesn't have to hook me. There has to be at least one thing that interests me.
So it has to hook you with one thing.
It has to hook you. That's exactly what it has to do. But there's lots of shows where I feel like it takes that season to really get things set up to know how things are going and who they are. The first 4 episodes, I think the first episode, maybe 2, are who the hell is Daredevil and why is he blind and whatever else, you know? And he still doesn't even have he's just wearing some black shit, running around.
Yeah, he's
punching
wearing
people
a
once in
sweater
while.
and a ski mask.
It really grows, and I don't even know is Kingpin in those first 4 episodes? Maybe a little bit, right? Not much, right?
I don't think so.
I think that he's really what really pushes what Daredevil is and who his villain is and what you got to do. There's some really good stuff in there. It's why I like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I feel like the first 4 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are the weakest 4 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh yeah.
But you get once you get through,
That's like stopping at Black Sails at episode 4. It's
Sure.
just where you're not watching that stuff.
Sure.
You know?
So there's some shows that they probably don't get better, but there's other shows where it's sometimes I feel like they need that season to really this is where our story is going and what we're wanting to do and what we're wanting to tell. So it's tricky it's a tricky line to kind of
but
figure out.
There's also, and I get it too. There's only so many hours of shit to watch.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many shows. There's live action. There's animated.
So what you
so
could
much
amend
stuff.
maybe you have the 4 episode thing. It didn't hit me, so I could do that, or you can do that with a wide net. But you could also be but I have people who sometimes are entertainment aligned saying no, it's worth it. So
sure.
You need to have an amendment to your 4 episode rule that if the 3 of us vote unanimously, you have to at least
watch the season.
We'll do a poll.
Do a poll.
Now, here's the thing too to remember. There's going to be a lot of people that are very excited that this is D'Onofrio, but there's also going to be a lot of people that never saw Daredevil.
Sure.
And they're 100% going to make it so that you don't need to have watched Daredevil.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to have anybody really left behind. It's just that extra.
I really wonder
satisfaction for all of those that have sacrificed so much of our lives.
What they'll do with the canonization of more like J.K. Simmons being J. Jonah Jameson, or if it's going to be this stuff has been real the whole time and we just haven't really seen it in the movie stuff because he's been doing things here and there.
This would be the first instance of that?
Have we had anyone show up before that has been involved somewhere else?
In what?
For Marvel, for MCU. Netflix.
Yes, we had Jarvis from the Agent Carter show show up as the actual Jarvis in
the Tony
Endgame.
In Endgame, yeah. That's probably the closest one. Then,
I think it's the first time it's ever happened.
I mean, the shows themselves have kind of intertwined a little bit, but as far as going up into the MCU, that's probably it. Because Agent Carter had some stuff into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they were both shows on the same network and stuff, So, yeah, that's probably it. I really can't think of anything else right off the bat.
My thing is I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is my favorite show of the Marvel stuff. But if I had to pick someone to cross over, it's still D'Onofrio, you know?
Sure.
But it just opens up the idea. If Feige is open to this and the response is what I'm seeing here, then maybe, you know, if Nick Fury is making some type of like sword agency, because S.H.I.E.L.D. is no more, then maybe we get some agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that could be agents of S.W.O.R.D. now.
Sure.
It opens up a lot of cool possibilities.
Sure.
But there will be things where it's like, I don't know if Danny Rand will make it.
Yeah.
Even though I liked him and couldn't wait for what was going to come in Iron Fist.
Iron Fist season 2 Iron Fist season 1 was not good.
Yeah.
2 was much better.
And
then it ended right where I'm like, why'd you end now?
I know, its ending is awesome. But I also really like, you know, Power Man, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones. I feel like Kristen Ritter that's like integral. Like that would be great in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
You know?
I need a private eye.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I need it. Yeah, I need information.
Yeah, who do I hire? I know a person.
Josh Mack.
It would be great if Charlie's there. If he's Daredevil or Matt Murdock, and they're talking, it's like, man, we need to find some information. He's like, hang on, I know a person. And they go get Jessica Jones.
Well, I mean, they have Kate
Her
Bishop
windows.
now.
Yeah, sure.
It goes to like a shot of
The
Alias
Bishop
Investigations door, and then a window breaks.
Oh,
no, not
gosh.
again. Josh McIntyre, the ill intent. Josh is saying that a lot of people were guessing this because based off of the run of the comics, Kingpin was the adoptive father of Maya Lopez. So that has a comic connection too.
Interesting, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Maya.
I only knew that she had some type of connection to Daredevil.
You kept saying Echo or something,
Echo,
right?
yeah. And I didn't even know that she was Echo until the second time we saw her.
Sure. No, yeah. I don't know. At least it's not just guys, this was confirmed weeks ago, and everyone was just telling you. At least it's a little bit looser of like rumors and speculations, and people are assuming it's going to be him.
It's just a coincidence you're wearing that shirt.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I wore this because I'm like, I like the way this shows my arms.
It does it pretty good. I like this shirt, but it goes too low on my arms. Oh, I need to get bigger arms.
This one and there's a Dalek shirt that they're both red, and I both feel like they fit my arms nice. So I'm like, I'll wear this.
You've definitely worn it before.
It's attached.
Because it was attached.
Yeah, didn't even think about it. Be great. Now people are gonna be like, fucking Aaron knew. I'm like, no,
read the comments.
I just wore this. Last week I wore.
Wears this all the time.
Last week I wore an Arrow shirt because it was arrowy. I did see an art thing where it was, what was it? It was like Arrow and someone else, and then Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, and they kind of mirrored each other and stuff. Like, it's a neat little piece of art. I thought it was cool.
Like Arrow and Arsenal.
I don't think it was Arsenal. I can't remember who it was though. But yeah, like that.
Mel the Dark Hero says, Kingpin is back. I'm not going to lie, I was expecting an epic and dramatic entrance, but I forgot that that's the character's style. I'm sure the next episode will heavily focus on both him and Eleanor and explain how they ended up in business with each other. See, that's the thing. I think a lot of people were expecting Kingpin, so this like blurry picture here might be like, oh, that's how they do it? All right. You know? But
this is a great reveal.
Well, if you don't know.
If you don't know.
Yeah.
If you don't know, which
That's what I'm saying.
Well, there's only one episode left, so he's got to be in whatever's next.
It better be 2 hours long.
How good he looks.
2 hours long. Oh my gosh.
So
That's that.
Yep.
I need 2 hours of whatever the next thing is.
Yeah.
Flashing back, telling us why he's here, and then wrapping up whatever Hawkeye.
It's hard to wear a white suit and not look like Matlock.
Right?
But he doesn't.
Oh my god.
But he doesn't.
I feel like I want to. I feel like I want to. Like, if Rick's never gonna watch Daredevil, or if we're never gonna do anything, let's just show him the monologue of the Good Samaritan.
I know, it's so.
But we've already spoiled it.
Watching it and hearing it are two different things.
I don't know if Melanie's watched Daredevil.
Another question for the three of us, but Mikolaj says, with Kingpin back and Vincent D'Onofrio reprising his role, what other Netflix Marvel characters would you like to see back? So I'm going to amend his question. Let's say Kingpin's there, and I'm going to also exclude Charlie Cox as Daredevil. What's the one that you pick?
John Bernthal.
Paul Bernthal?
I don't know why I always want to call him Paul, but
You think it's John Bernthal?
I'd love him to be in it.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool.
I feel like him and Charlie working together would be a great thing.
Otherwise, as far as,
What about Daredevil's sidekick?
Foggy?
Ooh, do you think we could have Foggy? We could have
Karen. Yeah.
Foggy and Karen could be involved.
But if you have Karen,
Bushmaster. I want to bring the Bushmaster back. Mariah.
No, but then we have Mariah. No.
What about Bullseye?
Shades would be cool.
Bullseye would be sweet.
Bullseye would be good.
He was pretty cool.
Finish that. Yeah.
What about the Ghost Rider?
That's in Shield, but I get you.
Fuck. It's after that, but fucking Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth? Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't going.
Interesting that actor is going to be playing Blade in the MCU. We've had that so many times.
The show Ghost Rider and Nicolas Cage together in the multiverse.
That would be good. Probably Reyes and Johnny Blaze?
Yeah. Johnny Blaze. Yeah, you could do that though. Like you could have both of them because they played different Ghost Riders.
They do.
One was the motorcycle and one was the car.
Okay, different skulls.
They did have different skulls. And we never actually saw, I don't think, the one who passed it on.
We did.
We saw him?
We saw his skull,
but we didn't see his face.
We didn't see the actor that's playing him. Yes, I get you.
I'm like, I don't remember seeing him.
Wasn't it the old guy? Shit.
You're thinking
the movie.
Sam Elliott?
Yeah.
He rode the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn right he did.
All right, as far as I can go, I just rode with you.
Oh, I
was like, what?
Does he have a cane in that shot?
He does.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it looks like a cane right there, like he has his hand on.
Oh my gosh, he has a meat grinder. Fuck.
It looks like a meat grinder.
It is a meat grinder.
Oh my gosh.
Or a pasta maker.
He did a lot of cooking.
Maybe it's a pasta maker. Yeah, it looks like maybe a ramen bowl. Maybe they're making their own.
Emil says, do you think that the cane could be a consequence of the ending of season 3 of Daredevil? That fight, man.
Maybe. Could be. I'm so excited, Cal.
Oh, Rick.
I'm so excited, Cal.
I need you to be as excited as we are.
I tell you what.
I'm getting nothing from you.
It doesn't seem like he's in prison here either.
No, it does not.
Really? You don't say, Eric.
How long does he ever stay in prison?
Maybe it's house arrest.
You know what?
Is that his ring? On the finger?
He has a ring.
I don't know.
It looks like
when he was in
it's a
prison,
ring.
he was literally king of the prison.
Hey, I was like, I don't know.
All right.
I can't see.
Well,
what are you doing?
It's even worse. This is blurrier.
Yeah, you could see his face and you weren't even sure it was him until we got to the credits.
Yeah.
Well,
I honestly, I looked there. I'm like, it could be, but I can't tell. But
it's hard to tell.
It is. They use just enough blurriness.
How many years?
Yeah, it's not been like a
3
super long.
Well, we had to wait for Netflix's exclusivity with the characters ran out. That was the big thing, right? Netflix created Daredevil and all that stuff, and after it ended, we had to wait 3 years at least until they were able to use the characters again. And then at that point, it was like, well, they're probably not going to use that version of the characters.
Yeah,
thank God.
Probably do new
Thank
ones.
God they've used the same actor at the very least.
Daredevil ran from just open. Open.
It's loading.
No. 2015 to 2018.
2015.
3 years.
Yeah. Thought it went longer.
I think it was a 2-year.
Total of 39 episodes.
Yeah.
Is what they had.
How many?
39 episodes.
Wow. Man. Well, that's the last Q&A. Literally every single Q&A was about Kingpin. Even the ones that weren't about Kingpin mentioned Kingpin. So
when I was a boy.
And someone did mention that, and I caught this too, but I didn't want to say anything, is that Rick, whenever we were looking at the uncle later in that episode after it had been spoiled for me, you go, kind of has Kingpin hands.
And they were big.
They were big.
You're right.
And I was like, I'm not going to say fucking anything. I'm going to say nothing.
I just didn't think that they would do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I didn't even have that in the back of my head as a possibility. Because I was like, they're probably not going to do it.
I'm glad the Netflix thing's expired though.
Yeah.
I didn't know it expired either.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how I'd know. I would be like, hey, it's expired. Put them in the show now or something.
Sure, we didn't put a reminder in our calendar.
Oh man,
we should have.
Fucking.
It's a great day.
I know. Everything else we do the rest of the day is gonna be overshadowed. We gotta do a poll. Win the button.
Just like that. No, we gotta do a poll.
We gotta do a poll.
I mean,
I saw you started moving.
We have to do a poll. What would it be? At the very least, I need to word it so that it's not over in the poll. I don't want to spoil people.
All right, guys. So for the poll for this week, we want to know, with the reveal here of Kingpin being involved in Hawkeye, do you think that Disney Marvel will then canonize the Netflix Daredevil series as being part of the MCU? Or do you think that they won't? They're going to kind of make it more of his own character, more like J.K. Simmons in the current Spider-Man movies, being J. Jonah Jameson?
If you asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would have said no. I don't think that they're interested in that. They don't want to involve something that they don't own, that isn't theirs, that wasn't produced by them.
They do it with Sony.
But they do it with Sony. But they also have creative control. They didn't have, it was a whole other dimension. Marvel Studios didn't do anything with those, Marvel Studios Kevin Feige produces the Sony Spider-Man. So I would have said no. I don't think that they're interested in that. But I would have said I wanted it.
Sure.
And now I think that this could be, I'm going to go, just for hope.
So not that you want, but you think that they are going to canonize what
I think that Kevin Feige is a smart person, and I think that the response not only has been huge, but hashtag Save Daredevil has been so well organized, I think it demands that they canonize that.
Yeah.
Like, they bought billboards in Times Square, like this fan group, They created these parties and these charities and all this stuff.
I would say if Kevin Feige, if he's trying to convince anybody that canonizing the Netflix Marvel stuff into the MCU, if he needs a flagship, then Daredevil is that flagship.
I'm gonna say yes because Disney is the real kingpin and is just gonna buy Netflix.
That's a good point.
I mean, I'm almost saying what I want, because the other part of this is just I would be happy if they just said, hey, we'll use the actors, but we're not really going to talk about that. Well, thus, it's not canon.
It'd be like a little reboot almost of these characters being these actors being these characters, but it's not canonizing what happened previously.
So if it wasn't canonizing, then they should have just recast.
Right? No, Cal, no.
There's no way.
No. Who's a better Jeff than J.K. Simmons? Sorry, Rick, go ahead.
I was going to say, there's no way they pull a Mandarin, right?
No.
I mean, I don't think this guy will be very obsessed about Vanessa in Hawkeye, but that's pretty integral to how he was in that. So I think it'll be different.
So then it won't canonize.
I don't know. I hope.
But will it?
As long as I don't recast Calvin. Fuck.
It won't canonize.
Guys, thank you very much for watching this episode of Hawkeye. We got one left. One to fit that giant man in. Make sure you subscribe, because we are definitely reacting to that, and it is definitely going to be up as soon as we can, and you definitely don't want to miss it. So hit the subscribe button. It will notify you. Okay? Also, a whole bunch of the videos every single day.
Merry Christmas.
Some people say too much.
Happy holidays.